So welcome everyone to another one of our amazing interviews, and I am so excited to be joined today by the amazing Karen Cochrane Hall. Karen, I've known for about a year now, isn't it, Karen? I think it's about a year. And I have to say that Karen is an amazing person. She brings a huge spirit, a very soulful spirit, but also a grounded, practical business strategy as well. It's kind of an amazing combination of the two. And so I'm excited that we're going to talk about manifestation, we're going to talk about using crystals, and all the different ways that you can give your business a boost and grow it during this time. We're going to be very open and frank in our discussions. We've already decided that, haven't we, Karen?
Of course we will.
Yeah, and we just want to share some of the wisdom that we've learned over the years, but particularly that Karen has, that's going to be supportive to you guys right now. So, without me blethering on, Karen, I'd love for you just to introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you.
Okay, well, thank you for that beautiful intro. The love and respect is mutual. I think I'm a great believer in energy, and your energy just resonated with mine from get-go. There was something that drew each other together, and it was lovely. So I thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit of few of my crystal babies, as I call them. I didn't start out life as Mama Crystal, which is what my clients fondly call me right now, or their spiritual accountant. I'm originally from Northern Ireland, and I came to live in Spain. That's another story, it's another video. Approximately 3 decades ago, so I've been here more than half of my life, let's put it that way. I studied physiotherapy at University of Northern Ireland, and never actually practiced. So I came here to a completely different country, no Spanish whatsoever. And here I am today. I've had a tax accountancy business here in Spain and business advisory service for the last 26 years. Amazing. So I have what I would say, the very masculine, numbers, legalities, contracts, all that sort of thing. Combined with this side of me. So that is part of who I am, but I also have the loving, the energetic, the energy healing, the crystals, and the energy therapy, the energy arts that I use in my day-to-day to coach. And, even giving a crystal to someone who's just been given a tax bill is part of the course for me. And it hasn't always been easy, however, to get to that point, to combine those two extremes, because one is very woo-woo and the other one is very cut and dried. But it's been an amazing journey, and through that journey and through that learning and that continued growth, that process has helped me then to help other people to understand business, because I've helped many thousands of business owners in my 26 years as tax accountant and business advisor. So I know business, as we say in the north of Ireland, like the back of my hand. But I went through a lot of stress and a lot of difficulty in relationships and with myself, and I needed to find myself spiritually. I've been a Christian for 35 years, but I wasn't a practicing Christian. I don't go to a church, and so I'm a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual Christian, and I think that love is or should be all of our religions, whatever we denominate ourselves as. So one of the things that brought me out of my shell, that helped me out of my depression and my stress through business, because I was soaking up everyone's problems. I was soaking up their stress on a daily basis, but I didn't have a way of releasing that. So I found certain therapies, certain techniques, and one of them was inevitably crystals, and I was drawn to them. I started the crystal journey, and today I help treat people. I've created several techniques, one of which was nominated as Spanish national level last year in 2019 as one of the innovative techniques for health and safety in the workplace. So that was the Ministry of Works in Spain, was very happy, which was amazing. That's something which I call Mama Crystal tapping, which is a technique that I can combine Qigong, mindfulness, crystals, obviously, and the tapping EFT technique to release those negative energies that we may be accumulating. And I created what I also call the circle of the energy circle, or the circle of energy in Spanish. And we basically help work teams from the beginning of their morning or their day to get their energy, their vibe high, and to work together, to knit together and keep together as a team, and manifest all that goodness in their day to day. So that's me. That's who I am. That's what I do for people. I help them to get lovingly to their C spot. I often say, you know, I can help you find your C spot, which sounds great. It sounds actually quite rude, but it's literally getting everyone to their heart space, to their calm spot. Their C spot is their calm spot. And we do that through crystals and using the Mama Crystal tapping technique.
Oh, that's amazing. And I love the fact that you have both this masculine side and also the feminine side, and they're in such a good balance with each other. And I'd love to hear more about how, you know, how do people start to bring more spirituality into life, bring more manifestation, crystals if they want to bring crystals, and start to use that alongside, because you've been on that journey, use that in their work, use that to help them with growing their business?
Well, I believe that any business is as good or as bad or as successful or not as successful. I believe in happy success. It's not just the numbers. It's when I do what I would call a business analyst, I go in and I look at the communication, the energy in the business, because some people will laugh at me when I say that. Every business has an energy, but it starts with a business owner or business owners. And this can be in corporate as well, from, you know, the core values of the business owners or the shareholders or whatever, from, you know, the core values of the business, that has an energy. So how do we start? I think the inner work, most of us unfortunately have to wait until we have an episode of either a serious illness or a serious accident, or we get kicked out of a job that we have worked at, or we lose a business, in fact, which often can be what people term a godsend. But I think I would invite everyone that if they search deeper, it's the inner work. If you search deeper inside of yourself and know that you're not 100% resonating with who you are right now, what you're doing, that's the time to actually even connect to a couple of crystals. I mean, rose quartz, for example, is a beautiful crystal for unconditional love. But getting back to your question, what would I advise people to do? Anyone who's listening to this video has obviously had their interest piqued by the idea of manifesting clients with crystals. And you can manifest anything with crystals. You can do anything with crystals. So getting back to that, how can I explain? This is a conversation that could go on for hours. So please direct me, because otherwise I get so enthralled with crystals and telling everyone how they can work with crystals, how they can use crystals in their life and their business. I believe that the business owner's energy mindset, energy set and heart set is, there's an expression that says, if your outer results are not pleasing, look at your inner work. So that's what I would say. And another quote that I love to use with my clients is that your vibe dictates or creates your own economy. So no matter, especially, and I think that is very pertinent to the current situation, that we have to believe in that, because it is true. And most of us, I feel that the virus itself, the biggest virus, is fear. And the division, that all of these rumors and all of these things that are floating around. But that doesn't mean that we ignore them, because we are living in this world, and we have to, you know, have a responsibility in that respect. So how can we be the most responsible, being the highest version of ourselves, being the most conscious version of ourselves, being, I think the expression that I would use would be being awakened. So crystals can help you with that.
Absolutely. I'm really glad that you wove in about what's going on right now as well. I know for myself that when I tune in and connect with my higher self, that things happen with ease. It's when I'm like not listening to my body or not listening to my emotions, that actually that's when things become a struggle. And that it's actually an important daily practice to take that time to tune in and really, really connect, that deep connection on all levels.
But it has to be that daily practice. And I think that this is what people think, you know, the expression inner work. It's only you can do it. That's why it's inside of you. And it's work because it's something that you have to commit to. You have to have a commitment. And even if it is, as I started with a 5-minute practice, and some days I didn't make the time for me, which in essence it's the optimal self-care. Your morning routine my morning routine for me. Right now, I'm not even talking about clients or the effect that I've seen on other people. It's how I've been affected. The day that I literally wing it and I get up from my bed and I literally get a shower and get to work, that is the day where the bad things happen, if we want to call them bad. But when I have intentionality, when I have taken that self-care time for me before I go to work, that is when the miracles and the magic actually does happen. That's the sweet spot.
That sounds, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're really bringing out about the self-care part of this, because when I wrote the title "Manifesting Your Clients with Crystals," it can sound like a very outward experience, but actually what I'm hearing is that this is very much an inward experience, and it's almost, yes, the crystals are a big part of it, but actually it's about listening inwards to yourself and taking time for yourself. Can you say a bit more about that self-care? Because I know as a busy entrepreneur, there are times when, I'm doing, like I have been with getting ready for the challenge. I've been doing 7 days a week for a month or so, and so self-care is kind of can get squeezed out when you have your own business. Can you say a bit more about how people can start to manage that process?
Making it a habit. And there are certain people that say that you have to do something for 30 consecutive days. Some people say that, scientific studies, that it has to be 60 days. I may be a bit of a bugger, but I find that if I do not have that commitment, I used to always get up at 5 a.m. I was a member of the famous 5 a.m. club. And it's oh so easy. And I think that this is what people need to hear. I'm an expert at this. I'm a business owner and coach that uses these strategies to teach others. And I have to be compassionate with myself and admit liability. Some days I don't do it. Some days I'm so busy I don't journal, but there's always some part of I will never lose my prayer, and I will never lose my meditation. I will never lose my meditation with crystals. So, because when I meditate, I will always have at least 1 or 2 crystals, left, right hand. I will always have crystals with me or in my proximity. On my work desk, I will always have crystals. I will always have crystals in my car. I will always have crystals in my handbag, to not go on to other places. So crystals for me, they're an integral part of my self-care. But it's the commitment and it's the discipline. It's precisely when you have those 7-day work week is when you most need that self-care. And it doesn't, it's quality rather than quantity.
Absolutely.
The expression that if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate, you need to meditate for an hour. I think it's a lovely expression, but in the reality of life, it doesn't actually become practical. And the easier we make it for ourselves to commit to it. Like, do you really have to think about brushing your teeth?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good
So
point.
why would our spiritual self-care be something that we leave to one side?
I think that that's a really important point. I really agree with you. I think that's super important. I love the way you've made it so simple as well. And I'm just going to just have a look at some of the comments. So we've got a lot of people saying hi. Hi, Anne, as well. Great. So just if you're listening, anyone listening to this and you have questions, please do, or comments or thoughts, please do pop them in. I can see there's a lot of people listening. So just pop them into the comment section, because we would like this to be quite interactive as well, and just open this discussion up. Something else that I wanted to ask you about, Karen, is really the results side of how it weaving in this, the feminine side into your business. How has that changed things for you personally, but also what have you seen with your clients in terms of what's happened for them?
Okay. I'll be perfectly honest. I've been in the closet, if you will, with Mama Crystal. I've only just launched Mama Crystal publicly. It was something that I did on the QT, as we say in the north of Ireland, okay? I always had, in fact, I don't have her here. I do. I always had this selenite stone, okay, which is a beautiful stone. It's a loving, gentle stone, but it removes any negative energy, any negative energy, any lower vibe energy, which eventually, fear is the lowest of the low. So when I gave people a tax bill over the years, I was sort of gently saying, and when you get to the point where clients are actually saying, "Where's that white stone, Karen?" you know the crystals are working. All right. So that was my introduction that I had. When people came in, they would say, "Wow, this is not the typical tax accountant's office. There's a beautiful vibe here." And people that are non-spiritual or noting were picking up. They're obviously sensitive to the energy that I was creating around me in my marketing. So when I had got through my own fear, because this is a journey, when I got through my own fear of being a traditional, I was the first to qualify at my profession here in Spain, for example, as tax accountant and business advisor. The first one to present to the exams, the first one to get chartered. I was always a sort of, well, I think the word is an outlier. I was always the trailblazer. I was always the person that didn't have fear. I never felt that I could be held back. But when it came to, when you have so many years of profession behind you, like 2 decades, it's not easy then to suddenly change and say, well, I'm going to actually express my authentic self within this. I'm going to weave this fairy dust through. Because you do have the fear at the end of the day. What are people going to say? What if I lose all my clients? What if people think I'm mad? What if all of my colleagues criticize me, etc., when I'm, my peers hold me in high esteem? So all of those fears are a reality. They're not real. Fear is not real, but it was an emotion and experience. So that in itself was part of my journey. It made me much more aware and gave me the tools so I can help others do likewise. So what I would say is I have recently helped people to come out of their closet in many ways, that when, especially the opportunity that COVID-19 gave us all this year, we had to, I hate this word now, it's so badly used, the pivoting. People were changing and they were actually saying, hey, my passion is something that I can actually bring to the forefront here. Now, my passion, I love taxes, I love paperwork, but my true passion in life is healing people with their energy and through the crystals, okay? So when I was able to coach using more and more crystals, because people were much more open to it in the last 4 months, my life has transformed. Wow. I feel that I have an inner glow that comes out, and people will come up to you and they'll ask you, hey, what do you do? I'm 57 this year.
Wow, you don't look
it. I don't look, and I'm not wearing any makeup, but this is me in the raw. And I would say that the crystal energy, okay, they love you so much that you also pass that love energy on to other people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's answered your question or opened
It
a
has.
lot
It's
more.
exactly what I was, yeah, I was just looking to hear the transformation, and that's beautiful. That's exactly what I, was hoping you would share is what's true for you. So I'm going to have a quick look because we've had a lot of comments since we've been talking. Karen is saying, if we take a habit that we have and add some activity to that automatic action and continue to link the two, we will eventually have two good habits that are automatic. I love that. I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And yeah, and Susan's saying, oh, she's had to dash to a meeting, but looking forward to catch up on the recording. So it's beautiful. And she also said, Karen, you're the queen of self-care. What's the first step you'd recommend for anyone getting started?
With crystals or with life?
I think you might as well answer both, to be honest.
Right. How long have we got? With crystals, I have I created at the beginning of COVID because I said to myself, the divine channeled through me, and I knew that I couldn't keep those gifts back. So I've done a series and I've given you them so you can post them free to anyone that wants to use them, to how to actually connect with Mama Crystal tapping. And it's a very simple, easy technique. And there'll be a lot more free videos on Facebook and on my YouTube, and that's fine. So I do apologize. So that is one way that people could put their foot in the door. I also have a free ebook, which is the Hot List, Mama Crystal's Hot List. So I've chosen 11 basic crystals that people could actually go out and buy. They're very accessible. And you just connect maybe with one or two crystals. And what I would say is, if you have the opportunity to go to a crystal shop, beautiful, because then you basically go in and whatever you're attracted to is calling out to you, and that's what you intrinsically actually do need. Okay, so that's one way of getting started. Or there's several, I could recommend several very good websites in the UK. They're totally people that have fantastic stones they're great prices and are not going to be selling you rubbish, I'm sorry, from China that's not the real McCoy. And you could go on their website, and again, anything that resonates with you, if it calls out to you, if you think it's pretty, if it's attracting you, buy it. And then that's the what I would call the divine feminine calling out to you, and then you can go into your divine masculine and study the actual qualities and why you would have been, why and how you can actually use the crystal on a day-to-day. So that's what my advice would be, to sort of start the ball rolling, start your crystal journey. I mentioned rose quartz. Rose quartz is unconditional love. So who doesn't need more love? This is a beautiful piece of rose quartz that I've got here.
Wow. That's gorgeous.
So you can get yourself something like that. And what I would like before, also a piece of selenite. This is a selenite tower that I've got with the sunlight here in Tenerife. I don't see if you're seeing that well enough.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Selenite is a beautiful, beautiful crystal. And I actually, as a wedding gift some months back, before COVID, I actually bought a selenite lamp for a couple of friends who were getting married for the bedroom. So this is a fun one. And I basically said to them, and they've tried this out, if you have a selenite lamp in your bedroom, or a chunk of selenite in your bedroom, any of the problems you might have outside of the bedroom, any of the quarrels, squabbles, or whatever, the stone crystal will completely dissipate that, and you will have wonderful, loving sex.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, everyone's going to be rushing out to get selenite.
Get a selenite lamp or a piece of selenite. And the guys actually, they jokingly, I said this to them as a bit of a quip, because I'm Irish, I do like joking about these things. And a few months later, they said, Karen, that lamp actually does work.
That's brilliant. Well, I will be putting all the links for everyone listening. I'll put all the links into the post just underneath this video. So don't worry, they will all come to you, and you'll be able to access the ebook and the other goodies that Karen mentioned just then.
Can I just make a special mention, because I do feel that we don't want to have drawn people in with the wrong title. We said
Yeah.
about manifesting clients, okay? And the manifestation, I believe, begins with you, okay? Your vibe has got to be in the right place.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting clients, or the right type of clients, okay, there's lots of marketing ploys that you could carry out. You could look at your ideal client profile, etc., etc. But let's use the crystals for the time being. I believe very much in that you need to get your vibe right before you can attract other people. All right.
Absolutely.
And so if your mindset and your energy set is good, when you're even doing your marketing copy, you need to be in that right mindset. What some people term the vortex. I call it your C spot, okay? So when you get to that calm spot that you can actually, with Mama Crystal tapping, release any of the negative energies. I actually use Mama Crystal tapping every hour.
Wow.
I call it my 50-10 technique. So every hour, if I can, it's not always 100% ironclad, I will put on a little alarm and I'll focus really strongly on the subject matter for 50 minutes, and then I'll take 10 minutes where I will actually tap, check into how I am, and that's optimal self-care as you go through the day. So your energy is always on that high. You're bringing your energy up again. You're high vibing again. And then you're totally creative. You're totally receiving from the divine anything that you might need. Those great ideas that suddenly pop into your head. They don't suddenly pop in. You have created that.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, get your energy vibe right and keep it there. And then one of the best stones, okay, we have citrine. Is they call it the merchant stone for a reason, okay? The merchant stone, this will attract clients.
Yeah.
But no matter how many tons of citrine that you get, love, it will not work if your marketing copy isn't right, and if you don't have the right market and the marketing the right subject or product. This is also a beautiful stone. It's a combination of smoky quartz and citrine. So it's got the protection, because sometimes we have to protect ourselves against bad clients. People forget that.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, the master manifester.
Oh.
This is clear quartz, okay? Yeah. So when we manifest, obviously it's not just plunk the crystal down and that's it, done and dusted. You need to be clear about the client and who you want to attract in, and preferably the more specific you are. When you're doing your visualization process, you can meditate, write it down, get deep into who you want to attract and how you want to work with that person. I always say it's got to be a sensorial experience. When we connect with all of our 6 senses, okay, to that visualization, the quicker it will work. All right. So also we have to work. This comes with a word of warning. It's a master manifester, but it will magnify your vibe. So if you're not high vibing before you use this baby, you will, and you're in a fear mode, it will give you more fear. So we have to be careful with this beautiful baby. But so I hope that I haven't gone over my time, but I really did need to say that, because otherwise people would say, Mama Crystal was supposed to tell us how to manifest clients. And another last one would be, this is a tiny little, I haven't been able to get myself, this is blue lace chalcedony, all right?
Lovely.
And this is called the actor's stone for a reason, or the speaker's stone, because it means that you speak from your heart to the heart of your client, or the people that are listening to you. So if you use this when you're actually creating your marketing copy or anything related to your marketing, whether that be a Facebook Live, a Zoom call, whatever, a webinar that you might be doing, a launch that you might be doing, when you use this crystal, you'll be speaking directly from your heart, connecting to theirs. And this is deep. It really is deep. So
that's really beautiful. That's very special. I wish I had a piece of that right now for my launch with my challenge next week.
I'll send you a photograph of actually crystals through a photograph. Their energy can work as well.
Okay, yeah, I'll really connect through the photograph and have a look and just be with it and see what happens. But yeah, that I love that opening of the heart so that you can really connect and be present. Yeah, and kind of coming out of the head a bit. So I get that sense that this is really kind of bringing you into your heart so you can really connect in that space.
Well, marketing at the end of the day and attracting clients, it's not about pushing people into buying or using your products. It's a matter of attracting them in. So when we are when we feel attractive because we're high vibing, we're attracting these beautiful people in. And when we are in our uniqueness, and this is why it's a bit silly to be fearful of actually living in your passion and expressing your full expression of who you are, because when we are unique, no one else can compete with us.
Absolutely.
On any level. And that's sometimes the comparison monster comes in and we forget those beautiful things that we all are unique, we all have divine gifts, and you may be a speaker, I may be a speaker, but at the end of the day, the way I speak is completely different from the way you do, and vice versa. So you have people that you're divinely connected to and contracted to work with, and so am I. So why are we ever in competition with or hitting on other people? That's why it's so important to just be in that love vibe.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that you said there, Karen. That's so beautiful. So what I'd love you to just let us know is if people are interested in connecting with you, what's the best way that they can connect with you more?
Well, we're almost finishing Mama Crystal's website. So it's very simple. It's Mama Crystal, spelled as you hear it. Or they can send me an email to mama@mamacrystal.com. Or we have quite an active Facebook page, and I have a little group that I call it Mama Crystal Cave. And I've made it private because we want to be able to really be intimate there. So people that really do need healing, and it's a free group, there's no charge for it. People can work with me. They can have crystal therapy sessions. They can have Mama Crystal sessions with me. But at the moment, I would say, why not come along, see how you connect to the energy and the vibe, and who knows where things will progress.
Beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much, Karen. This has been such an amazing interview. We've covered so many bases, and I know that you've brought a lot of things that are going to be opening ideas up in people's heads. So a lot of things that will probably have got some light bulbs going off. And I just want to say a big thank you. I'm just going to see if we've got any crystals. Yeah, we've just got some lovely comments about love your list of crystals and how to use them. That's so helpful. There's one question. Anne is saying, how do you select your crystals for tasks?
For what?
How do you select your crystals for tasks? So I guess what she means is if you're doing a specific task, how do you choose which crystal you're going to use for it?
Well, it depends on the task in hand, really. I would always say that you use a crystal to cleanse. So I'd always cleanse our own energy before we do anything, get ourselves high vibing. And again, there's so many crystals for so many different things. It depends on the task. I mean, today we've talked about how to attract clients, how to get your vibe high. It just depends very much on the specific task in hand. And I know that sounds as if I'm trying to not answer, but it's as wide as what task. If you name a task, I probably could help you, guide you intuitively too. But what I would say to that lovely person that's asked the question, if you look at pictures of crystals, if you're in a crystal shop, don't go into your head. Let your heart speak, and your own body knows. Our bodies are so wise. So the crystal will reach out to you rather than you. They will call to you. So what you think is attractive, what you think is appealing, what you think is pretty, that's what you will need right now, and that's it. And I have been working with crystals for years, and I'll still go to a crystal shop and I'll be attracted to a crystal, and I'll not go on. I used to go on very intellectually, and I'll go, oh, it's for that. Oh, that's good. I will buy it. Now I literally let myself be guided by my intuition, and
Yeah.
I'll buy it. And then when I get it home, I'll connect with, I'll cleanse it, whatever. I'll go through my process, and then I'll sit down and I'll work with it, communicate with the crystal. Isn't that an amazing expression? Even 4 months ago, I've probably been very embarrassed to actually say that. I talk to crystals and crystals talk to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Anne is saying, what crystals would you use to help with focus?
It's got to the focusing crystal has got to be fluoride in all of its colors. Fluoride is one of my guardian stones, and fluoride is absolutely amazing for focus and concentration. And if you use it with some sort of lemongrass or lemon essence oils, you just rub it in your hands and have a sniff. That combination of fluoride, we actually use it in our office. My staff will use, they all have fluoride, they all have selenite, okay, to cleanse their energies. They all have shungite because of the protection, all right? And they all have fluoride to focus and concentrate so that you're not distracted.
Lovely. Wow, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Karen. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
So incredible. And I know I've really enjoyed talking to you, and we've had such great feedback and comments all the way through, which has been wonderful.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here.
Oh, fantastic. And just for everyone else that joined us today, we will have more interviews this week. We have another interview happening on Thursday, so I will keep you posted. But also, I hope you just really enjoyed this as much as I did, because it is so nice to take that time to really come in and talk about how to approach your business from a completely different angle. So thank you again, Karen. This has been amazing. Much love to all of you. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone.